Do not buy an electric truck if you're planning on towing a trailer with it, especially a trailer like this. This is a 6x12 enclosed trailer. Look how tall this thing is. That is all wind resistance, and it will absolutely destroy the range of an electric truck like our Ford Lightning. Hi, I'm Chad from Purple Collar Life, and in the video you're going to see today, we're taking our Ford Lightning with the 6x12 enclosed trailer to help Mackenzie move. She's moving from one college apartment to another one, so we're going to put some miles on the Lightning, towing the trailer, and a real-world test of how much wind resistance this trailer makes and how that affects the range. So we're at the night before our first towing trip. So I went into towing. I've got the CarMate trailer all set up. Put in all the information. I'm gonna start in tow haul drive mode just to see. I don't know if it's gonna be necessary with this trailer, but we'll give it a try. We are charging, currently at 86%, and we'll be at 100% at 3:35 a.m. and we plan on leaving at 9 a.m. so plenty of time to charge up. In the garage, you can see we've got the Ford charger plugged in. Running under the garage door. I just left the door open like a foot there at the bottom. Here's our new electrical panel. You can see the Volt is plugged in, but it's already fully charged on the Clipper Creek. And the Volt, the flashing green light, means the charging is complete. In a future video, we'll talk about what's inside this panel. Many of you may be doing exactly what I was doing about a year ago, and that's some research on Ford Lightning trucks, and if you had one, could you use it for your everyday truck stuff, like towing a trailer like this, or in our case, towing a pontoon boat, towing a utility trailer. And if you read some of the forums, there's a lot of haters out there that will say, don't even consider buying an electric truck if you're planning on towing with it because they're worthless. Well, I think this video is going to prove that wrong. All hooked up to the CarMate 6x12 trailer. First tow with the Lightning. So we completed a couple back and forth trips from the old apartment to the new apartment, and we've programmed in back to home now. You can see on the center screen, Apple Maps is telling us we'll arrive back home with 66%. So all that range anxiety, I guess, for nothing. We didn't even have to charge up to 100% last night. We could have charged up to 80%, which is what I normally do. The battery is happiest between, you know, like 20 and 80% roughly. So I was just worried about towing the trailer, wasn't sure what we would get for miles per kilowatt hour, so I charged it all the way up to 100 for this trip. We've been, like right now, we're averaging 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. We'll have to go back to the tape and see what we got after our full trip there, unless you remember. Jennifer doesn't remember. So the current range on the display is 162 miles. We have a 34-mile drive to our destination. We've been driving for about 10 minutes already, so we'll check back in with you as we get closer. So we're part of the way back home. We've got 12 miles left to go. We've driven 25.6. It says we have 135 miles of range left. But you can see on the screen there, it tells us where our energy has gone, and we're going down a hill now, so we're actually regenning and increasing the miles per kilowatt hour of our drive. So before we started down this hill, we were at 1.3, and as we regenerate down this hill, the speed limit goes down to 35 on the decline of the hill here. So trailer. It was pretty full, not super heavy stuff, but pretty full a couple of times to and from Mackenzie's apartments. Now it's fairly empty coming back home. We did have a few times where it told us that the range was affected by towing, which we already knew. And then we had a couple reminders that the range is affected by the outside temperature. It is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. We do have the air conditioning on.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
We've got our ventilated seats on. So that also does affect the range a little bit. Almost home, just 4 miles left to go. It's super comfortable ride. I don't notice a difference in the ride of the truck towing the trailer or not. In some vehicles, like in the big truck, the trailer actually smooths out the ride because you need a little bit of weight on the rear end. The independent rear suspension on the Lightning is just such a nice, smooth, and comfortable ride regardless of whether it's empty or loaded down. It's pretty cool. But the ride's been good. We climbed a pretty good hill. We live kind of on top of a hilltop, so we lost some range down to 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour after 50 minutes of driving and 34.3 miles. Pull that up on the big screen for you here. And it shows that our current existing range left is 125 more miles that we could tow the trailer with the conditions we're in right now. That considers we're running some climate control, the outside temperature, the weight of the trailer, the acceleration, the terrain we're in.
So that was almost 2 hours of driving, roughly, right?
Yep. And I still would, if I was doing it again, I would still charge to 100% just because you know, especially the first time towing this trailer, I really thought we would get like 1.0 miles per kilowatt hour, so I'm glad that we beat that average, but we also didn't have to go very fast. We weren't like on 70 mile an hour interstate. We were on divided highway for a little bit, but not for super long, and most of the drive has been 45 to 50 miles an hour probably is the average. It ducked underneath.
There's the fawn.
Where?
Right there in the woods.
Oh yeah, I see it just leapt over the creek.
It's right there.
There's
There's
one right
little
here.
ones over here. Do like the nice cameras when you're backing up, the 360 view, and then also the bumper view, and you can choose other views, so you can see kind of both sides of the trailer, you can see all the way around, just the back, the hitch. If you had a trailer, or if you have reverse guidance, you can use that. So that's all pretty cool. I do miss my big mirrors. So when you're toying with this, I've noticed you don't have the advantage of those nice big wide mirrors that I have on the Super Duty truck. But it makes sense. You're trying to be a little bit more aerodynamic in a smaller truck like this, so. Get out and check and see where we are. But an update on the mileage there. .03 hours, 1.5 miles per kilowatt, 37.1 miles on this trip. The summary of where did my energy go. There's the history of the truck, at least over the last 3,000 miles. And the last 211 miles we've averaged 2.0. The last 3,000 miles it's averaged 2.0. And this trip towing 1.5. So I think what we learned in this move with Mackenzie is that it didn't really matter how much weight was in the bed of the truck or how full the trailer was. The primary effect on range is the wind resistance of the trailer behind us. Now, we did a lot better than I thought. I was worried, and I charged this thing up to 100% because I thought, I want to make sure we can make it back home after moving Mackenzie. Total mileage on the trip was under 80 miles, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours of drive time total. A lot of to and from buildings with the trailer full and the truck full, but the ultimate depletion of range was simply the sections of drive on more interstate type travel, traveling at 65 to 70 miles an hour on 4-lane highway, and that's where the wind resistance was the worst. But as you saw on the screen, we were between 1.3 and 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour. I was anticipating worst case scenario, we were gonna get 0.9 to 1, so I was pleasantly surprised to get 1.5. And in the extended range Ford Lightning like we have, with 131 kilowatt hour capacity battery, that means we could tow this enclosed trailer a lot further than I thought we could. And for most of what we do, that's perfect. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below, and hopefully we'll see you again the next time. One of the things I'm always curious about when towing is, can I lower my tailgate without hitting the jack and crank for the trailer? Now, it's always going to depend on the elevation of the trailer compared to the truck. I kept my eye on it, but in this case, can't close it all the way down. The nice thing about the auto return tailgate is if you stop it with your hand, it'll start to pull itself back up. You can see that V-nose does help some with the air resistance, I'm sure. Also gives you a little bit more storage in the front end because you can put stuff clear up in the V.